Michael Jackson stands have been incredibly embarrassing over the past few days after the release of Michael, primarily around belittling alleged victims and making a mockery in general of accusations. And I wanted to take a second to show you some actual evidence, right? And I want you to ask yourself, should an allegedly sanitized biopic ever have been made about this individual? Primary defenses I hear from Michael Jackson stands who are unable to think critically is that this grown-ass man who had small children sleeping in his bed, right, was just a big child, right? He was like Peter Pan, he was innocent, nothing sexual about him. It's interesting because you can go read The People of the State of California versus Michael Joe Jackson from January 2005 and look at all the evidence presented, and you can shatter that embarrassing defense. It's not me telling you not to be a Michael Jackson fan. It's not me telling you not to listen to his music. It's not me saying a film should not be made about him. This is me saying you cannot ignore this shit if you are going to make a movie about this person. Start with some evidence from 1993 when Jordan Chandler would have been sleeping in Michael Jackson's bed, right? This is the Chandler family with whom Jackson settled for $22 million in 1994. Here's the evidence from 1993 from Jackson's bedroom, right, where children were sleeping. Boys Will Be Boys contains photographs of boys under the age of 14, full frontal nudity. Book is personally inscribed by Michael Jackson. In Search of Young Beauty contains photographs of children, both boys and girls, some nude. The Boy, a photographic essay containing black and white photos of boys, some nude. Photograph of a boy believed to be Jonathan Spence, fully nude. Photograph of a young boy holding an umbrella wearing bikini bottoms partially pulled down. Ask yourself, should children be sleeping in the bed of one of the most powerful individuals in the world, right? No, they should not. Should children be anywhere near any of this shit? No, they should not. So here's the thing, right? Even if you're one of those disgusting people that likes to discount all the testimony of children or adults who said they were abused as children, brainwashed, etc., again, dealing with one of the most powerful people in the world, you can all say, right, that this stuff, which was found in 2003, shouldn't be anywhere near kids. Also probably agree on items 303 and 304, and also probably say the same on items 363, 364, and 365. Interesting to see the name Robert Maxwell there. Say the name for 366, which includes nude photos of teenage boys from the late 1800s. Look at these items. You can ask yourself, how would pure, innocent Peter Pan Michael Jackson, right, ever have any of this, right? Because none of this stuff was on his mind at all when he had these kids in his fucking bed. Barrage of innocence also falls apart when you look at the actual evidence from his computers, right? Ask yourself, why would people fight so hard against believing any alleged victim, right, when there was so much material there that could be used for grooming, which was alleged? Not make a movie about that person and not talk about any of this, right? When the film was announced, it was supposed to be a riveting and honest portrayal of the brilliant yet complicated man that would include both his undeniable creative genius and human side and personal struggle. Producer Graham King saying, Michael's life was complicated. As a filmmaker, I look to humanize but not sanitize and present the most compelling, unbiased story I can capture in a single featured film and let the audience decide how they feel after watching. Colman Domingo said, I don't think it's actually trying to prove his innocence. I think it's actually just trying to give a great examination of an artist. What made the artist who he is, what makes him complicated, for you to leave with your own answer. The problem is the family was heavily involved allegedly every single day on set, and one of the producers of the film is John Branca, who is the manager of the Jackson estate. What you may not know is, I believe in 2020, there were 5 more settlements for $3 million each. Both sides mutually agreed to keep the agreement under wraps to where its existence couldn't even be divulged. John basically managing this and also producing the film at the same time, but no one could know about it. There were a lot of things that could have gone south. We have a fiduciary responsibility to maximize the income of the estate. Our counsel insisted we sign the agreement, so we did it with mutual non-disclosure. They didn't want it disclosed either because Michael's fans would have gone after these people. Allegedly originally planning to make an unbiased film, right? You have Fuqua coming out and talking about the allegations, saying sometimes people do nasty things for some money. What I would say is doing a nasty thing for some money, ignoring every bit of allegation, every problematic aspect of this person, and just making a sanitized little music video for stans to sing along to and then say how good it is, and attack anyone who dares criticize the film or this man. Then you come out and you tease the movie about the alleged molestation, right? Like it's fucking Endgame and this is Infinity War, and you laugh about it, like Colman Domingo and Nia Long.
Stop in 1988.
Yes.
Several years before the first child molestation allegations were made. And, you know, we live in an environment now where we take survivors of sexual abuse, we take their stories very seriously. What would you say to folks who see this and they're like, you know what? they whitewashed that part. They didn't even include that part. How do you reconcile your performance with that?
I think the film takes place, from the 60s to 1988. So
Right.
it does not go into the first allegations in like 2005.
Right.
So basically, we center it on the makings of Michael. So it's an intimate portrait of who Michael is. So it really just
through his eyes. Sorry,
through his eyes. No, I'm saying through his eyes, truly.
Yes.
So that's what it is. So that's what this film is. And there's a possibility of it being a part 2 that may deal with some other things that happen afterwards. This is about the making of Michael, how he was raised, and then how he was trying to find his voice as an artist and be a solo artist. And then the movie, that's what I have to say about that.
But it sounds like there may be a sequel.
Could be a sequel.
There could be.
It could be. We don't know
The
yet.
price is right.
And we also saw Coleman Domingo saying that Paris Jackson was very much in support of the film, which she said, "Don't be telling people I was helpful on the set of a movie I had 0% involvement in. That is so weird." Going on to say she read one of the first drafts of the script, gave her notes about what didn't sit right with her, what was dishonest. She said they didn't address any of that, so she moved on with her life. Going on to say a big section of the film panders to a very specific section of my dad's fandom that still lives in the fantasy, and they're going to be happy with it, saying biopics are sugar-coated, the narrative's being controlled, there's a lot of inaccuracy, and a lot of full-blown lies. At the end of the day, it doesn't fly with me. Go enjoy it, do whatever, leave me out of it. If you still think this is someone that was worthy of a squeaky clean, sanitized biopic, right, I'll leave you with his own words and think back to all the stuff that they found in his room, and once again ask yourself, was any of this remotely okay?
But is it really appropriate for a 44-year-old man to share a bedroom with a child who is not related to him at all?
That's a beautiful thing.
That's not a worrying thing?
Why should they be worrying? Who's the criminal? Who's Jack the Ripper in the room? This is a guy trying to help heal a child. I'm sleeping in a sleeping bag on the floor. I gave him the bed because he has a brother named Star. So him and Star took the bed, and I'm on the floor in the sleeping bag.
Did you ever sleep in the bed with them?
No. But I have slept in the bed with many children. I sleep in the bed with all of them. When Macaulay Culkin were little, Kieran Culkin would sleep on this side, Macaulay Culkin's on this side, his sister's in there. We're all just jamming the bed. And we wake up like dawn and go in a hot air balloon. We have the footage. I have all that footage.
But is that right, Michael?
It's very right. It's very loving. That's what the world needs now. More love, more.
The world needs a man who's 44 sleeping in a bed with children.
No, you're making it all wrong.
Well, tell me, help me.
Because what's wrong with sharing a love? You don't sleep with your kids or some other kid who needs love, who didn't have a good childhood?
No, I don't. I would never dream of sleeping.
I would.
I would never dream.
Because you've never been where I've been mentally.